Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Elite Real Estate Podcast for another Friday morning. Super excited to be here this morning. KGCI Radio, live streaming everywhere, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. I think we're everywhere this morning. So, again, usual Friday morning for us. Getting excited about being on and can't wait for it. But, again, KGCI Radio, if you guys aren't following it there, you should start following it there and going from there. So, the Elite Real Estate Podcast, you can also find it everywhere you find podcasts. So, without further ado, I am going to bring on our next guest, which I'm going to find very interesting from a different mindset today. And I'm going to bring him on right now, Dr. Horacio Falcon. How are you, my friend?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I'm doing great. How you doing, Jimmy?
I am excellent, my friend. Excellent, excellent. And thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining me this morning. I'll pop your name up. I'll pop your name up there so people can find you, and then we'll get into where everybody can find you later on too. So,
thank you.
Well, thanks for jumping on for me this morning and going through some stuff. So, when I was telling real estate agents that I've had a doctor on now, I've got a dentist coming on now. So, like we talk about this health all the time, and I you probably find this more than I do, but my wife being a hygienist, right? But people kind of skip the dentist part. They skip past the health part of being the dentist part as being a health part.
Yeah, so true. For some reason, the mouth and the body's not connected. even for regular physicians, for some reason. I mean, you're surprised when someone's going through cancer therapy and they forget about the mouth.
Yeah.
And then we have to jump to them and, I mean, what about this, about that? And they're like, oh, no, they didn't talk to me about it. I'm like, huh. It's like, it's everything's connected. I mean, come on, let's be real. It's the only place in the body where you have bacteria 24/7.
Right.
And that goes straight to your bloodstream, right? It's not like anywhere else. So this is where everything starts.
Yeah.
Everything gets consumed and everything gets absorbed, through the gums, through the gut, everywhere. So and I think that we should give it a little more priority.
Yeah, definitely.
Most people do.
Well, I do.
Oh, yeah.
I have a choice, right?
You have no choice, yes. Absolutely.
But no, I find that interesting because when we talk about health, right? Like we talk about eating or drinking or what should we be putting on our body, where does it go? It goes in our mouth first, right? Like it doesn't go anywhere else. And but that's, like you said, that's one of the last things we think about.
Well, I mean, think about it, quality of life, right? I mean, doing in reality, we eat because we like to eat. All right, because we don't need to eat everything that is out there, right? But we like to eat, right? So I mean, if to sustain a body, you don't need much,
right?
But we have stuff that we like to eat, and without teeth, you can't. So quality of life goes down right away when you're missing teeth, and confidence. I mean, confidence is huge, right? Smiling. First thing people notice is this.
Yep.
Right. So if your smile and it's not lined up with your personality, and you'll be the confidence level goes down a lot. I see that a lot all the time.
Yeah, and then you always see people talking like this, right? Where they put their hand over their mouth because they're not confident in that smile.
Yes, all the time, and meeting them, and that's first thing they do, right? There's something, either the smile, the smell, any odors that comes out, whatever it is, they're covering something they're ashamed of, right? So, and it's most of the time it's just an easy fix. It's and just like taking care of the rest of your body. I mean, you see this, got beautiful hair or beautiful makeup or expensive purses, expensive boots, and just the mouth doesn't go with it.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. And that was one of the things too that I wanted to talk about too is so one of the things that I found super interesting over watching your career develop and how you did your stuff, like really like getting patients to come in the door is hard for a dentist. It's not like it's not a doctor per se, right? Like it's or a family physician or whatever. Again, people try to put this off as much as they can, and that innate fear of the dentist. So what's been one of your tactics of how to attract clients, right? Or how to attract patients to your practice?
Well, one of the most important um, referral sources are from within the house. So, like in pure reality, like you said, no one likes to see the dentist. I mean, the first thing when I meet a lot of people is I hate the dentist. I'm like, well, nice meeting you, right?
Right.
But it's what did I read? I read something the other day that said it's not what you say, it's how you make someone feel, right? That's what
Yeah.
they'll remember. So it's all about that experience. That's number one. From when the phone is being answered, make sure the person answering the phone is trained properly, talk with a smile, and engage with the patient or the future customer, and then when they walk in, what they see when they're walking in, if my practice doesn't look like a regular medical office, it looks like you're walking into a living room.
Yeah.
That's important, right? You're greeted in a certain way, and everyone has the same flow personality. It's like a you got to make sure their experience is smooth, and to remove that fear from what they're used to, dentistry. Okay, and that's the most important. That's where you're going to start getting your referral from within the house. They tell their friends, they tell the family, and then from there is, and I think that's important, especially in my community, being part of the community. Being as a dentist, we're small business owners, right?
Yeah.
So when you're operating a small business, if you're really looking into the area, we share the business that helps with the little leagues. It's always small business. You don't see Amazon, you don't see Apple in those little leagues, right? You see something dental, chiropractor, real estate, XXX, right? Small business around. So just being involved in that community, your your brand becomes something, becomes meaningful.
Yep.
Because at the end, it's a small business, your brand is your name. And they'll know you by that, right?
Hopefully.
So
one
yeah,
one way
yeah,
or the
but
other, right? Yeah.
but the good thing, right? Well, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right? When you're a small community, so with the good and the bad, right? So, but yeah, it's really being involved we're involved in a lot of the schools in the area. We're always supporting the schools. We're supporting local activities, like I said, we support the little league. And it's the first few years, and that's with any business. It's getting your name out there. It's all about branding, right? Make sure that your name, your logo, as is easy to remember. And you start talking to people. People think it's going to be like this, but it really is not. It can be like that, but depend what kind of clientele you want to build.
Right. Right.
So a good thing is they say look at a practice, and the doctor and the patients are very similar. So the type of patient you want to bring in, they kind of mimic you, and so you got to remember that these are long careers, man. These are 20, 30-year careers, right? And so
Hopefully.
hopefully, right? Yeah. And well, yeah. So you want to build that in. You want to make sure you build that nice foundation where people want to continue to come back and telling others. Because at the end of the day, that's the best marketing. That is the best marketing. That's going to get people at the door. Now they get tell somebody else, and the whole your part of the community, and then you can do some. There's a lot of things people are doing online on Instagram and all that. I'm not gonna be your dentist dancing to get people on Instagram, because that attracts other dentists. That doesn't attract patients, because no
Right.
one's no one's really looking at I don't know. I feel like we dentists think, oh, everybody thinking about teeth. No one's thinking about teeth, but so it's all
Oh,
about, like I say, it's all about that experience. And the experience is the most important thing.
yeah. Yeah, it's funny that it's funny all the things that you're saying, right? Is some of the things that I always talk about, and I always coach real estate agents on, and
I'm sure.
it's the same thing. We're small business owners, and people fail to
Yes.
realize that a lot of times, right? And I think one of the most important things that you said is it's about the experience, right? If they have a good experience, they're going to tell their friend that they had a good experience, and then that
Hmm.
friend's going to tell another friend they had a good experience. And so it's not always about that. Yeah, obviously that direct connect is one thing, right? I want to get that person directly in the
Right.
door. But once I get that person in the door, I want that person to go out and tell Susie and Joey and Bobby and Cindy and
Yes.
everybody else to come back to me too. And it's the
Yeah.
same thing with every small business. And I love that the
Right.
things that you hit on, especially the social media stuff, um, because it is what you put out is what you attract.
Correct. 100%. So
It's
yes, that's the thing. And it's we're talking about, like, keeping those patients, right?
Yep.
My mom, when I was little, my mom used to say it's hard to reach your goal, but it's harder to maintain it.
Mm.
So to know that. So with anything in your life, right? It's hard to get there, but once you're there, man, to stay up there, it's a little more difficult. So
Yeah.
that's just like with patients, with clients, right? I'm sure you guys do the same thing. I mean, you and I talked before, and it's like, well, if I'm selling my house, right, who am I gonna call again? Right?
Right.
Well, hope I'm calling you again, right?
You better.
That's it.
I know where you live.
Right. So right. So because we had that experience, right?
Right.
I mean, just the little things, right? And it's just um and I think that goes longer than anything else. Because
Yeah.
you can send 5,000 postcards and we get everything in the mail, right? We throw it away, but someone is hurting, and then your friend tells them, well, why don't you go see my person?
Right.
He took great care of me. He didn't hurt. They were nice. There we go. That's the best referral.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, you want when somebody brings your name up or that you
Yeah.
want someone to bring your name up when that subject comes up, right? If the subject of
Yeah.
teeth comes up, your name should be the first
Yeah.
one that comes up.
That's
Um,
correct.
and again, it goes back to that experience, and that's one of the things I want everybody to understand is the reason that we talk about this is because we're all small business owners. Like that's what we
Right.
all are at the end of the day. Yeah, do we have
Right.
different skill sets, right? One of the things that it gets brought up on our coaching calls a lot too is we talk about like real estate. We're the only industry that everybody wants to negotiate what we get paid. Like nobody really negotiates the price of a crown; they just pay it, right?
That's what it is. Yeah. Only the dental insurance is the one that negotiates our prices.
Yeah, you have to deal with the insurance part. You have to deal with the
Yeah.
insurance. We don't have to deal with that.
Right. No. No. And it's everybody has certain talents, right? But your talent's not gonna matter if your skill is not being worked on. You gotta keep working on the skill, man.
Yeah,
That's gonna take you farther in life. It's
uh,
like me, like and like any small business, the dentistry is not the hard part. The hard part is managing the business.
right.
And you can read tons of books, but once you're in there, that's the real game. And you're gonna experience when you're on it. You
That's it.
learn a lot, and every mistake is very expensive. But wouldn't trade it for the world. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, and you and I get to exchange books a lot. We shoot videos back and
Oh
forth,
yes.
right? And which is really cool stuff. But and to rewind this a little bit, I want you to talk about how old were you when you started to get into dentistry and
Oh,
when you thought dentistry was going to be the thing.
so yeah. I'm like a odd character, odd person. When when I was let's see. Okay, so to go back in time, right? So
Yeah.
my mom used to be a nanny for a dentist.
Okay.
And then when I was in middle school, I knew I wanted to be some kind of doctor. First, I thought wanted to be a heart surgeon. And then my mom started working. She was the nanny for a dentist. And when I was finishing middle school, eighth grade, I got a summer job as a file clerk. Back in the day, I had charts. So I'm like, sure. I always had this work ethic. I always wanted to work. If I wasn't cutting grass, I was doing something. I was always doing something since I was little. So right away, I started working. Within 6 months, I realized that I like dentistry better than general medicine.
Mm,
And because of the interaction with the patient.
got it.
So patients sees the dentist more, and we know our patients really well. So I like that connection. Okay, so I'm not gonna, when you see a doctor, you're a chart, your number. I mean, because they see thousands of people, right? So at that point, I noticed in the interaction and the fact that it was 5 o'clock and he was home with his kids.
Mm,
So that also that freedom wasn't connected to a hospital, wasn't connected. And to finish, you had to have your own business. So now going as a freshman in high school, I started moving my way from file clerk to dental assistant. So I was, this 15, 16-year-old kid, scrubs were really big and and so, learning to be an assistant. But my mentor at that time, who was like say my mom's boss, he put me in every part of dentistry. So I assisted every specialty. He put me in the front, the back. So I learned that really, really well. It was actually one of the best experience. When you're so young, you're a sponge.
yeah.
Start taking everything in. So that's when I knew I wanted to be a dentist. So I mean, and so year after year, I got better assisting. I got more. And that was this was only in California, so you have to have a lot of license to be able to do that. And I keep getting my license. for dental assisting, and I applied to college. And I still like the cosmetic and the surgery part of dentistry is what really grabbed my attention. I'm all cool. I get to be a surgeon like I wanted to, but
Yeah.
also I get to change, smiles and be an artist. And so it's never the same thing every day, which I love. So yeah, I went to college. I got my bachelor in biology with concentration in physiology in San Francisco State. I applied to dental school and I got into Detroit Mercy. So this is what took me all the way to Detroit. Okay.
That's
And
always, yeah, I'm sure that question probably comes up a lot, right? How did you end up from
yeah,
California,
honey,
like in
yeah. So
Detroit?
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dental
And,
school.
and let me, and honestly, the only Detroit that I knew was what I saw in the movies,
Right.
Robocop, like the brothers, Eminem.
Four Brothers, Eminem, and
Yeah. Yeah.
RoboCop
It's
is
like
what
scary,
those four things are what you associated with Detroit.
That's it. That's it. I'm like, oh, where am I moving to? But let me tell you, I love this place. I mean, it took me not going back for 4 years to appreciate how nice is the Midwest and how it's the best place to raise a family. It's not crazy hectic. You can do a lot, right? Not things are not super expensive. I mean, the real estate is not, you know, I
It's not
probably still
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to.
it's not
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to
California.
afford a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, either if I was California. But it's just, life just slowed down here, which is perfect. So I mean, I fell in love with it with this area, and so I said when I was like I said going back, I went to to dental school at Detroit Mercy, and I was class president. The clinical part in dentistry was pretty straightforward to me from all the years of experience.
Sure.
So
I bet that was
yeah,
probably hard for you in a sense because you probably had habits that you had to break,
yes,
right? That weren't
oh yes,
textbook, right? That weren't
yes.
textbook.
So the best advice I was given by one of the doctors I was working with before, the year before going into dental school is stay quiet. Do your thing because professors are gonna hate you. Just do
Right.
your thing. Stay quiet. And that's kind of hard for me. But but yeah, and but I got through. I mean, the clinical part was a no brainer. Honestly, it
Yeah.
was. I completed everything from my clinical like 4 months ahead of time, so that was easy. So I was doing more cases, and yeah, so that's getting into dentistry.
Well, there's
So
not many people
it's
that go into dental school with like 5 years of experience in dental, right? Like, there's not many people that come
yeah,
in with that much
my
experience.
well, mine was 12 years.
Yeah. I mean, like, you walk in 12 years of experience. I have 12 years of experience, but I got to go to dental school.
Yeah. And the funny thing, the dental school, they really don't care
No, that's
about how
funny.
much
Yeah.
experience you have, which makes sense why a lot of people graduating have to go do more education after because I mean, and some drop out because they realize dentistry was not for them. I think that should be a huge requirement.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know what you're getting yourself into. It's a tough career. Dental school is no joke. I wouldn't do it again. I'm happy I did it, but I wouldn't do it again.
Check the box. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like us taking our real estate classes, right? Like, you check
Oh,
the box, you
I
get
can
done with
imagine.
it, and then we're like, somebody asked me like, could you go take the test right now? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I
I don't
can.
know if I can do it. I
I
don't
don't
know
know
if
if
I
I
can
can
do it,
do
right?
that test again. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just got to make sure my license stays up to date, so I don't have to worry about
Yeah. Same here.
it.
No, but it's like I said, I mean, I love it. I mean, it's a great career. I mean, you do change people's life in this
Yeah.
career, and a lot of times when I do, I love the cosmetic. I do a lot of veneer cases and for full mouth reconstruction. And what I always hear is, I wish we would have done this sooner. That's
Right.
I wish I didn't wait this long. There's always this fear, right, and the unknown, and but that's the most rewarding part.
Yeah.
It's just, man, that smile, the hug at the end, and oh my gosh, I can't wait. And you see him, 6 months year later, I'm still smiling, and it's that's just amazing.
It's the emotion, right? There's a lot of emotion
Oh,
involved with it.
huge,
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, it's huge psychology in
Yeah.
dentistry.
Yeah. Well, Tom Tillier says, "Hey Doc, hey Jimmy,"
Hey, Tom.
and Fatty gives us a good morning chat. Um,
Really,
so
thank you.
the amazing part is like how similar our businesses are,
Mhm,
and how that how these things are. Like I said, building a business and attracting the right clientele and obviously like
mhm.
this broad thing. So talk to me about like, and I know because I know this about you, right? Like, but
Mhm.
like your systems and process, like CRMs and all that stuff. I think that's one thing
Uh,
that people miss out a lot about being a business owner,
right.
being a dentist, and like your CRMs and all your systems.
Well, a business, a business. Doesn't matter if you're selling bread or houses or fixing teeth. The business part, like this, what I'm saying. The dentistry is the easy part. Is the business, right? So, like when I started my office, started we were very small, 3 days a week, and it was front desk, a hygienist, and a dental assistant. Very small. So, and I kind of wanted it that way too. It's scary, but I wanted it that way because I wanted to learn the business part.
Sure.
People jump in and they want this, this is multi-million practice, and I mean, you're throwing yourself, oh no, you can go downhill really fast. So, so building that system is something that is critical in any business because that's how the business is gonna run. Okay, and we're still building system up to now. We're still changing things, adapting. We're growing. Now we're 11, 11, employees in the practice. So we're growing, and I'm thinking of multiplying. So, so those systems where it's very important because how our conversation earlier is how the phone call gets answered in the front to how the patient walks out. That experience is built on systems. Okay,
Yeah.
so and it has to go, and sometimes the system might not work, but something that comes very important when you're hiring is having that employee that has the work ethics, which is it's becoming more difficult to find nowadays. Um, to follow that system.
Right.
And I think they only follow that system if they feel they're part of something. Okay. So they feel they're part of the business. And I I'm proud to say this. I do have the best staff out there. A lot of people say that, but I truly do. I mean, I haven't switched staff at all. My front desk been in that practice for 20 something years. One of my agents been there 20 years. The people that I brought in along have been there since. I haven't had to replace them. Okay. You go from one here, you go through one bad apple here and there,
Sure.
but the core is, they're they're part. I mean, we just went through our 7th year anniversary on Tuesday, and everybody said congratulations 7 year. I'm one of that's everybody. Even if you're here 2 years, you made part of the 7th year.
Yeah.
So that's where those right employees help the system, and that's how you get also people accountable, right? And that's something that we've been building all along, and we're still working on it. Because as you grow, if you don't have the system lined up, things are going to start falling apart
Yeah.
very easy. And the first one that's going to see it is the customer or the patient, right? The frustration,
Yeah.
things not going smoothly, and things are going to fall. But there's just there's always to be something to go back into it, and that's going to be in any business. I mean, that's how Apple runs. That's how a good restaurant will run, and it's no different in the dental field.
Right. Yeah. If people don't feel taken care of, right? Like if they don't feel
Oof, that's
taken care of, there's other dentists, right? Like there's
100%. I mean, there's one in every corner. I mean, and the same thing. And you don't have to. And this was hard for me too. It took me a couple of years to realize that. Also, I don't have to be everyone's dentist either.
mm,
If the patient is being rude to my staff, who is my work family, because I spend more time with them than I spend, or about the same I spend with my family.
yeah.
It's like them being rude to one of my kids.
Yeah.
So, we don't, and yeah, people have bad days. So I always give them the benefit of the doubt. But if it continues trend, then I don't need to be their dentist. There's another one down the street in reality. I want people to want to come see me. Okay.
I love
To
that.
feel happy. I don't have to beg for them to come see me.
Yeah.
And that's why I say that the organic referral is the most important. But that's someone else telling you about their experience. Someone else that they love the place. They love how the hygienist made them feel. They love how the front desk made them feel, and just the little things, it's all about hospitality. I mean, that's the book I'm reading now, thanks to your wife.
Yeah.
Love it. But it's all about hospitality, and it's not that difficult. The little things go a long way.
Yeah, you think it weren't that difficult, right? You think that it wouldn't be that difficult, but
Mm.
there's such power in what you just said, and I want people to understand what you just said. There's such power in the fact that you said, I don't need to be everybody's dentist.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, again, what you're putting out is what you're attracting, and it's the same thing with real
100%.
estate agents, right? I don't need to be everybody's realtor. I would like to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
don't mean
Correct.
don't mean
Correct.
don't call me, right?
Right.
um,
100%.
but one of the things that I always try to coach agents to is like living in that 90 percentile, right? I want to work with 90% of the people that I can work with. That other 10%, I don't want them. I don't want to deal with the headache. I don't
They're,
want. I
they're,
don't.
they're energy drainers. They're energy drainers.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yep. And it goes from an employee standpoint. It goes from a client standpoint. It goes from a coworker standpoint. Like I just don't want to deal with that 10% that's going to drain me. I don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
I got enough draining
No,
me already. I don't need the rest. Right.
no, that's correct. No, that is correct, man. It's that's the thing. It's like we talk about it. This is a 20, 30-year career, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to be trained by, you don't want to be here. That's okay. No hard feelings, right?
Right.
It is what it is, you know? But man, you want to get the energy for the people that want to be there.
Oh,
Because those are the people that are gonna bring you somebody else. That's
yes.
gonna be the customer is gonna be your, well, my realtor is great, right? That's what I tell them about you. You know, the guy across the street is the guy. And like, that's how you give the referrals.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. That's
it's
it. It's
yeah.
how you treat people, right? And if you treat, and again, like you brought this up earlier too, like everybody should get the same experience too, right?
Hmm.
If that client,
Oh
if that
yes.
patient has been with you for 10 years, or if that patient's been with you for 10 days,
Hmm.
they should get the same treatment, right? Like,
100%.
and I know one of the great things when I come in to get my teeth cleaned, I get the warm neck wrap, right? I get a coffee to go. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And that's part of the system. Now it's inner, and like every single staff reminds you, would you like a water or a coffee to go?
Yeah,
It's a simple thing, you know? And it's just that became part of the system, and that became part of the culture. It's important, and it's all about, that becomes part of the 5 star that we're trying to build.
yeah,
You can't please everybody. I mean, Jesus Christ couldn't please everybody, right?
right.
We
True.
can't.
Yeah.
but
Look what
but
happened. Look what
but
happened to him.
right. But at the end of the day, it's just, make sure that it's always remember, and sure you said the same thing, and it becomes more natural at that point too.
Sure.
That's the thing.
Sure.
And your patient will see it's not fake. You do so many times, patients where your customer will go, okay, this guy's real. This is
Yeah.
how they operate.
Yeah. And I think one of the big things too, you just hit it on a little bit, but that culture piece, right? Like
Hmm.
building a culture, um, and you got it twofold. And some agents that are listening now, or some agents that are listening later, have the same thing. As we're building out a team, or as we're building out an
Hmm.
organization, we have to start to hire, right? Like, and we have to start to bring in these people that
Yeah.
that need to protect that culture.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things. Like you say, you've grown. It's funny how you say this, right? You've grown quickly over 7 years.
Hmm.
Like how quick?
Right.
How quick is 7 years? It depends on how you look at things, right?
Right.
But over 7 years, you've grown quickly from you had one hygienist, one front office, right? To now, how
Yeah.
many people do you have now?
So I have about almost 3 hygienists. We have 3 assistants, 3 front desk, so 3 times.
Right.
And now, and have a specialist that comes in now, a periodontist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but same thing, and we still run the same, well, run better now than we used in the beginning, because we build a system, but it's that core, that core is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And it's business are tough, but you always have to. Everyone can have a bad day, and every employee can have a bad day, right? But it's, you got to pick
Yep.
each other up. That's all part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, at the end of the day, you spend more time with that. What,
Mhm.
what's hard because your wife's in the business too, so you get to spend
Yes,
time with her
give
too.
myself. Yes,
But
we'll do our own thing though, which is funny, right?
right, right.
Yeah.
There's probably days, and that's interesting too. Like so, your wife works in the office as well,
Mhm.
and so then there's probably days though that you're both in the same office and don't see each other,
Yeah, a lot
or
of
you
times
just pass by, right?
we're passing by. She's hygienist, or she's doing ordering. She's doing, and but yeah, it's the funny thing, in a small place, we say hi, and then we meet for lunch.
Right.
Like, yeah, no, but that's how we met at a dental office. Or a lot of people say, how can you work with your spouse? And like, that's where we met. That's
Right.
what we're used to. I mean, we're both high schoolers. We met at a dental office, and
That's
then
funny.
yeah, now 4 kids later, dental practice
4 kids later,
yeah,
across country. Like, I mean,
across country,
yeah.
away from the family. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's a
made
lot.
it work.
That's a lot. And
Yeah,
people, I guess, people don't understand. I don't know if people get that live here, and we're just used to U of D Jazz, U of D being, University of Detroit Mercy being downtown,
yeah,
but that it's one of the top dental schools in the country.
yeah. It's an excellent school. It's an
Yeah,
excellent. I mean, Michigan is lucky to have two top dental schools.
yeah,
They have Michigan and the Detroit.
yeah,
And it's a great school and but like any school is gonna give you a foundation. That's what you do after. That's the most important.
right.
Just and to clarify, if you have any listeners that are thinking of joining the career, or what school should I go to, and this is something that I'm learning. It's like they're all gonna give you that foundation. Your education starts the day you graduate. Just know that, and that's where you're gonna start picking your things in your career and become better at your craft. It's all about the skill. You develop the skill. You got the talent already. Got to working on the skill,
Yep.
and that takes time. A lot of I remember getting out. I was like, oh, you want to do everything, No, learn how to do something good first, which is hard, but because later it becomes harder to build, to break those bad habits. That's way harder than anything.
Yeah.
Speed comes with it. So build, start becoming really, really good at what you do. Take your time, and then the speed comes really fast.
Got it.
And that's the same thing with a business.
Yeah.
Learn the small steps. Come on, there's days that I feel I'm the janitor,
Yep.
I'm a dentist, I'm RH. I'm like, I'm like everything. I'm like, to the guy that's not have to get in the roof. Like, and the dentistry, the easy part. I got to manage people.
Yeah. That's
You
easy,
got to
but
do it all, and that's the thing about a business owner. That's the thing about a business owner. You got to do it all. And once you start, now I'm finally learning to delegate the work, which is good. So because now the people been with me so long, and we have the system, so now I'm like letting people do things,
yeah.
and it's taking a lot of my plate, which is great. But when you're a business owner, man, you do it all. You do it all.
Yeah. And then you're building maintenance, right? Like, and I think that's one of
Yeah.
the things too. Like, as people are growing into their careers, and whether they get into an office, a building, whatever they're if they're renting or if they own it, right?
Yes,
But once you own it, now you own it, right? So now you
you
know
want it.
this all too well. Once the basement leaks, that's on you, right? If
That's on
the
me.
if the if the electrical stops, then I got to get that started again,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
so there's the time and the effort that has to go into that piece,
yeah.
and I feel like people miss that a lot, right? Once they start a so-called business, um,
Oh,
what goes into that business.
no, that's correct. And I think one thing we have to be aware of is you really don't start seeing profits. And I read this before and I didn't believe it until like second year.
Yeah.
That's when you start seeing the profit of a business, right? You're just making, everybody gets paid. You're the last one that gets paid in a business, right? So the business is gonna give you things, it's gonna give you the headaches, but it's gonna give you the freedom.
Yep.
Right? You have your own schedule, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. But it has, you're the last one to get paid, right? And then like and my about the practicing. So I got out of dental school in 2017, and I worked for someone for a few months, and I knew I could not work for anyone. I had to, I've been in the industry long enough. I already had a vision of what I wanted, and I'm one of those, when the vision's in my head, it's kind of done. It's gonna be done. It's gotta wait till it happens, but it's gonna happen. So then, 6 months after dental school, I bought a practice, which is takes years for someone out of dental school to buy a
Yep.
practice. So I just knew what I wanted, right? And then 20, then I bought the practice 2018. 2 years later, we started seeing profit. 2020, guess what happened? 2020, you get shut down.
Everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody gets shut down, right?
Yep.
And then the thing, you're a business owner, right? You don't, everybody was getting help. You don't get the help because you're 1099. So
Yep.
yeah. So then then we got to rebuild again from the ground up, right? And then, but things just got better after that. The staff remained, which is great. The loyalty, very important, right? The loyalty
Yeah.
of the staff. They came back, and we came back stronger. So, and now, like I said, now we're three times the staff. So, but it's and that's it. Like the profit always comes the second year. It's people think it's right away, maybe, you know,
Yeah.
but once you build that, it's just steady, which is good,
As long as
and
not
that's
a,
what you got to aim for.
as long as there's not a pandemic in year 3, right? Like,
Right, right, yeah, like mine, right? Yeah,
Yeah, keep it
Yeah,
nice and
that's
simple until there's a pandemic, and then
right. Those are scary time. I mean, it's not easy. Uh, and two kids, a mortgage, a business with a mortgage, and then my wife having the third child at the time. So we're pregnant. So like there's no going back, man. It's just
nope.
and here's one thing: you can have a lot of doubts when you want to build a business, but you gotta stay away from Plan B. Don't think about Plan B. It's always Plan
Mm,
A. Plan A. Work on Plan A. Okay. Plan B comes as it has to come, but you always you've been in Plan B before. It's not new. Work on Plan A. That's what's going to take you to the next step. Okay. You gotta have the positive. You gotta have the people around you that are very positive. Like my wife was absolutely amazing. She's absolutely amazing. She's always pushed me, and I mean, come on, she moved to Detroit with me.
right.
Took her from California, right, from her family, and she moved with. But
Was that
for the
like,
big
hey, I
picture,
got a great idea. We're gonna move to Detroit.
yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. They were asking about it because when I applied to different dental schools, I applied to California school, and I remember I was set. I wanted to go to a school in California. That's where I wanted to go, right? Well, I didn't get in, and I tried twice to get in. And I'm like, come on, I got the grades. I got, what is it more that you want?
Right.
I'm thinking. So I was very, very upset. I'm like, is this like, I don't know, faith, God not wanting me to become a dentist for some reason, right? And then I remember when I got the rejection, from one university in California, and then I told my wife, like, that is like, I'm just very upset. And she said, what do you want to do? So, well, I got an interview at Detroit. And then she says, if we got to go to Detroit, we have to go to Detroit. What's wrong? So she kind of like, humbled me in that way. And
Yeah.
she said, "I'll follow you anywhere." I mean, she was already a hygienist. She was making really good money in California. She'd been working for this place for 6 years, so she was top hygienist in that office. And she's like, "I'll follow you." I mean, we're together, right? So so sometimes you need that push,
Yeah.
and the push can come from someone else. And a lot of times, sometimes the push comes from one of your employees. Just so you know. So who you hire, it's not who you hire, who works with you,
Correct.
right? It's not for you, but with you, it's very important. Because sometimes they push you. I mean, and there's days that everybody has a bad day, and they're the one that carry the practice. Because I still, you still present yourself to your patients and everything, but they carry, they're carrying your name.
Yeah.
So it's very important, to always, don't take it for granted. Treat them nicely, take care of them, and because when they feel they feel some ownership too, then they're gonna do the same thing for you.
Man, you're like it's so spot on with like how to like building a business, like a business 101. You know what I mean? Like business 101. Like take care of the people will take care of you. Right? Like it's
Hmm.
it's 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 really that simple.
Yeah.
And again, like to your point of taking these risks and taking these
Oof.
leaps. Oh man, like yeah, I get it, right? And I think that a lot of people like listening now or listening later get it. Like there's these times in your life where like you either go or you don't. And I feel like a lot of time the only regret I think that you ever have is not trying to do it, right? I think that's the
Yeah.
only regret. I think the only regret that we ever have if you look back on life is like I should have done that thing. Not
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I
Oh
mean
yeah.
look, like there's been things I probably shouldn't have done in my life, but
Oh, of course. All of us, right?
yeah, right.
That's part of life. That's part of life. If not, it would be boring.
Yeah, exactly. But like in business and in life, I think that there is those moments of like of growth, right? And I talk about a
Right.
lobster a lot, right? Like a lobster grows into its shell, and then it has
Yeah.
to shed it, and then it grows another one bigger, and then it grows into it again. So it just becomes you become vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
You 6 months out of dental school bought a practice.
Oh. Oh man,
Are
that
you
was that was
crazy?
scary.
Yeah, are you crazy?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. But and I remember like going in my head, like remember about to close steel, it's like it's a small practice. Honestly, it was somewhat of a failing practice because it wasn't making enough to run a new doctor,
Sure.
and so and patients were older and things like that. So, but I just saw something in it. And I just went there. I remember waking up in the middle of the night. 'Cause that's the thing. Once you're a business owner, you wake up in the middle of the night randomly.
Yep.
for no reason. You don't sleep as much. Um, but waking up in the middle of the night thinking, am I doing the right thing? Because and you know what I keep telling myself? You've been in Plan B,
Ooh.
right? I can always go work for somebody else while I build this up. No problem. I'm a dentist. I mean, this practice is the practice I was, my practice right now that when I was buying was only operating 3 days a week. If I needed some extra income, I just go work for somebody. There's always looking for associates everywhere else, 2 days a week to make ends.
Uh-huh.
But I'm building on that dream. I say Plan B's been there forever. I mean, I don't have to look at it. So keep working on the Plan A. And this funny thing, I was listening to, I should listen to your podcast with Dr. Alex the other
Yes.
day,
Yep.
and you guys were talking about how this energy, how entrepreneurs, they all wake up at a certain time, 4 or 5 in the morning, right? That's kind of the time people start waking up, and that's what I do now. It's like I'm up like I'm usually up at 4:20 because then I go to the gym after.
Okay.
But the days I don't go to the gym, I'm already waking up around between 5:30. It's just my brain starts waking up.
Yeah.
And when you read all these guys, they all do the same thing. I mean, you read things about Steve Jobs and all those guys. They're working because they're working on their passion. That's different.
Yeah.
And
It's
and also the headaches that comes with
yeah.
it.
The headaches that come with it. And the other thing that you've done now too is now you have employees. And what people
Mhm.
don't understand about that, the stress that puts on you
Yes.
because now you
Oh,
have families counting on you.
yes, yes. And that was the biggest thing when we got shut down. It's like, yes, my family, I can go, like I said, my career, I can go somewhere else and work somebody and who will pay enough. Those families have families. And that's heartbreaking, and that's and you get to know each other so well that,
Right?
man, I mean, I know you for so many years, right?
Yeah.
Your kids and same thing with everyone. And yeah, that's the hardest thing. You got a lot of people depending on you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I think that people don't understand that. Like, they see a business, right? They see a business and it's doing well, whatever it is, and they think, oh, this guy, or this lady is just making all this money. But look how much people depend on that just a little business in the corner, right? And how much the community depends on it too. The
Yeah.
local schools, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
And
it's
you have patients that have been coming to that office 50 years.
oh, I have patients
Like
that I'm their third dentist in the same building.
the same building.
Yeah, so the previous owner, dad, right? And I think if the previous owner would have kids would have been a dentist, it would have been there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's loyalty. And those people are driving from far away now. They move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I got patients from all over the United States. I saw one 2 days ago. She lives in LA. Even coming from California, and it's not my family. I have I have a few that live in Colorado and they'll fly here. So a certain clientele.
So you're doing something right.
We're doing something.
You're doing
Yes, I
something
guess I
right.
guess I guess whatever's working out. But I know it. But the thing is, I know it's not just me. And like I say, it's the team.
Yeah.
The team is building that experience for them.
Yeah.
It's when you have a patient that it's flying in, a high-end patient that it's in Costa Rica and calls you because broke a tooth, and he can see anyone. He can see one of the top-notch guys in New York, right?
Yeah.
He wants to see you. So, like I broke this tooth. What should I do? Like, I'm in Costa Rica. I'll fly in to see you. Like, well, Saturday morning, I'll be there,
Right.
right? It is what it is.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they respect my time too, which is great. They know I
Sure.
always tell them that that I'm here Monday to Thursday, and so it's emergencies. I mean, those are the ones that says a lot. And someone will go out of their way to see you, to fly in to see you.
Right. Right. If it's an emergency and they're flying to see you specifically,
Yeah,
that says a lot. That's a bit
yeah,
it's a huge testament to you and to your business for sure.
right.
Um and so that's the other thing too. Talk about that. Like because you're a dentist, yes, right? Like
Hmm.
but you do a lot more than that. There's a lot more.
Absolutely,
Yeah, there's a lot more to that like
the fill and
the
trim. Yes.
cosmetics. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I I'm a general dentist to start with. Okay, so I do everything about dentistry but I like to, and it's because cosmetic dentistry is not a specialty. People think cosmetic dentistry is especially, it's not. It's something that, you learn to a number of, I mean, I have hundreds of hours of aesthetic dentistry courses, and that's how you become an
Sure.
aesthetic dentist. But there is no such thing as a cosmetic dentist. But that's where my passion is. It's rebuilding the smile um, because that's pretty much what, for me, it changes someone's life. Other than taking somebody out of pain, when they're in a lot of pain and you help them, but making someone 10, 15 years younger, which is very important. Okay. So let's look at for example, your clients, right? If you have a realtor, if you're trying to sell a $1 million house, right? The realtor kind of has to look the part too,
Yeah.
because it means you have taste. You have taste, right? You dress a certain way. Your smile needs to go with it, right? Because people are looking at your smile. If you're if you're just showing a house and you don't know anything about the house and you're trying to sell $1 million house, but you look like you should be selling $100,000 house,
Right.
they're not gonna believe you about what
Right.
you're saying about the house, right? You have to play your part too. So a smile goes a long way. A smile is will the research has shown that a healthy looking smile makes you look 10, 15 years younger. Okay. So if you're in your 50s, 60s, just like everything in the body wears down, your knees, joints, your smile starts wearing down and collapsing. That's gonna start making you look older. So when I do a cosmetic case on veneers, then I'm bringing up that healthy smile. I'm removing some of the wrinkles by giving back the shape of the teeth that worn down, opening the bite a little bit, and now that builds confidence, right? And
Yeah.
that person goes and do whatever they have to do in their life, and and now they get to be more energetic with what they're doing because they feel, oh man, people are looking at me now. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not doing this, and now you can go sell the $1 million house. No, it's no different. So
No.
that's where my specialty. That's what my dentistry is. I do, see of all ages, but I love my passion is the cosmetic part, restoring, restoring, restoring confidence in reality.
Yeah. You are, because it's what we briefly spoke about that at the beginning. Is when, people will talk, put the hand over their mouth, they're not confident in that smile, they're not
Right?
confident in their teeth. And again, it is a big thing, right? And
Yeah.
then now it's because my wife is a hygienist, and we watch TV. So I'm the one picking out everybody's teeth on TV. Like, look at that guy's teeth.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
I've become
Oh
that guy.
man, you become that guy. Yeah. It's just, but you can see it, right? You can see, like,
Yeah,
I mean, look at Tom Cruise, in the in the 80s, 90s to now,
yeah,
There's a reason,
yeah. It's amazing, and again, it's a specialty
Mhm.
because again, any dentist could do it, right? But
Yeah.
only the good ones are the ones
Yes.
that stay in line and do the things the right way. Because
Yeah.
we've all seen the bad teeth too.
Oh yes, and I see it a lot. So that's the thing. It's you know, cosmetic dentistry is a necessity, but it's also a luxury. Okay? We have to be, you're, you can get a car to take you from point A to point B, but you can drive a kind of like a Mercedes, or you can drive, Hyundai or whatever,
Sure.
right? So you when you sit in the car, you feel the difference, right? So you can go to a dentist that can say it does veneers and is drilling your tooth like a crown, right? And has, some regular lab to the work. It's not bad work, but it's not the aesthetic that you should be receiving.
Right.
And that's why aesthetic dentistry is more expensive. Now, and it's really not that expensive because if you take it for how long it's gonna last you, it's you break it down, it's reality, it's just you're taking care of it. You're rebuilding things. It's just the looks comes with it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And when you have a dentist that has been trained, right, by hours and top guys in the world and uses some of the best labs, that's important too. Your lab needs to mimic your work,
Yep.
and you both of you need to communicate to help each other. You can't just let the lab do whatever and just put teeth, because when you do cosmetic dentistry, if your lab is not asking you to for full face picture size and everything, then you're just assigning this. You're not assigning everything that goes together, because your teeth are different than mine. Every tooth is different. So you need to have a dentist to understand that has the eye for that. So you can build a smile that goes with the face. And also you don't build a smile that is too perfect that looks fake either.
Right.
It needs to be a little irregular to go. I mean, both my hands are different size, right? So you can't have whole perfect teeth because they're gonna look odd. Doesn't go, you know. So
It's like
that comes with that comes with experience.
sure.
That comes with experience. That comes with training, a lot of training, and it's not something that builds, in a day. So
Yeah,
yeah, so that's where my passion is.
and I think it comes from it comes from training and it comes from other things. But it also you just said it. It comes from that's your passion too, right?
Hmm.
And when we
Yeah.
find that passion, we typically tend to take more time on those things and we get
Oh
better at those
yes.
things. Then we have that passion and that drive for it. Like
Okay. Yeah.
it's for me it's like the passion my passion and drive is like how can I make people better, right? Like how can I coach people? How can I make people better? Whether that's a client, whether that's another agent, whatever, right? But that's where my passion lies. So like, and again, when you find that, that's like you said, like your passion is, and again, you mentioned this early, and I don't know if you even remember mentioning this, but like you talked about like being an artist, and
Hmm.
like that is what it is because you are an artist when you're trying to put this smile together.
Absolutely.
Again, some people can just wing it and stick chiclets in there, right? And it's fine, and it doesn't look any. They think, well, it's
Right.
fine, it's okay.
Yes.
I'm just because it becomes an assembly line then, right? They don't care
Right.
about their patients;
That
they're
is
just getting
correct.
them in and out. Where
Correct.
yours is, yeah, you're gonna take more time. You're gonna have this
Hmm.
smile. You're gonna take before and afters, and like that. But that before and after is going to look drastically different,
Yeah.
but it's not going to look weird.
That's correct. That's correct. And and it's going back to the thing that says, I wish I would have done this sooner because they're afraid, right?
Yeah.
And when I see these patients, that's my only patient of the day when I'm doing this cosmetic cases. They're and the the part of me working on them doesn't take long, but it's all the prepping for it.
Hmm.
It's hours talking, designing the smile first of all. Because one thing I do is, and I tell it to every patient, is I start from the end, the final result. I work my way there. I don't try to get there. I know what I'm getting to. So when I have when I see a patient for a consultation for the smile, first I need to know what they want, right? I have an idea. And a lot of times they want things that doesn't go. So that's when you gotta also make a stop and say, it's not gonna go. And so you design. So the way my process is, take a bunch of pictures and I do digital scanners and I speak to my lab and I say, this is what we want to do in this patient. Female, young, you know, jawline, narrow, so we need to make teeth a little more rounded, etc. And then so then they put everything on wax on a mouth. And then now the patient comes in, now I know what they're gonna look like. So my goal
Mm,
now is to get here. Now I have a place to go to. Now patient comes in and say, okay, we need to do 10 veneers, which is honestly, if a dentist, and it's not that everybody has their own way, we're not talking, but if a dentist is going to do 6 veneers, they're not doing you a favor, just so you know. And this is what I want people to know. You don't smile with 6 teeth. You smile all the way up to here. Okay. I mean, horses smile with 6 teeth. Oh,
yeah.
right. And that's
Right.
what they're going to build. That's what they're going to see. So, so I always tell patients, either you can do 4 in the front, but you never go 6 because this is where the curvature starts.
Okay.
Okay. And if you build a stick, you're going to look like this. Okay. So the light's going to hit it and everything's going to look dark in the back. Right. Sometimes you do 4 or you go 10. Sometimes you have to go, if patient like Julia Roberts, you can see all the way to her uh, wisdom tooth. You
Right.
get all the way to the wisdom tooth, right? But that's the thing is if you're gonna do this once, do it right. And what I love is when I temporize my patients, when I finish it, they're going home to try their smile already on temporaries, the
Right.
shape and everything. And that's where we figure out if they like it or not. Most of the time they love it. I mean, having a patient say they didn't like it, but they're really trying, the final work while the lab is making everything, which is another thing. My lab makes it handmade, so it looks more real.
Right.
And that's when so they're really trying their smile when you put the final. That's the wow factor. Yeah, so it's that, and that's my reward right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And it's funny because I can see it light up in your face. Like I can see
Yeah.
when you're talking
Oh
about
yeah.
this, like you have a different look in your eye when you're talking about this, and that passion just comes out
The
of
passion,
yeah.
because and that's what you're saying. Like you're passionate when you do this stuff. I mean, like it's, and everybody should be passionate, at their craft, right? That's important because
Yeah.
it just comes natural at that point. It doesn't become fake. It doesn't become, and I think that's something with I'm sure with your agents, when they're showing a house, I mean, they're passionate about this house. They're excited for them. Sometimes they're more excited than the actual person buying or selling the house, right?
Yeah.
But they've seen this before. They know what's gonna turn out to. I mean, when you helped me with my house, we came in, you already knew about the house, we just talking. It's like you're smiling, you're passionate about it. You're like, that's you're helping me make it. You're helping me to make sure that I'm getting the right thing.
Yeah.
Because it's a big investment. So you're assuring me, hey, you can see you here, right? You see the kids, and it's every business the same way, you know.
Yeah.
And it's get to see, your customer, get to see your client, get to see your patient, like, and that's where the passion comes in.
I love it. And again, I can obviously tell, and I again knowing you for as long as I've known you too, but like your office is different to walk into. It's not a normal dentist office. Has that homey feel. It has that like
Yeah.
a very welcoming, warm feel to it. And so we've got about 4 minutes left. So
Okay.
where can we find you, social media wise, location wise? Give us all the scoop of
Yes.
where we can find
So,
Falcon Dental Group.
so my, yeah. So first of all, we made the website is falcondentalgroup.com. That's easy. And there you can actually see my staff. You can see what we do. You can start seeing before and after pictures. And I'm writing I write articles in the Grosse Pointe area because my office is in Harper Woods, border with Grosse Pointe. So I'm highly involved in both of the communities. But I write an article every other month for the Grosse Pointe magazine. So it was, and that's where you can see some of my work too. I post pictures there. Um, and like I said, the website has all the information. Okay. Located Harper was right off the freeway. That's why patients come from Port Huron, from Chicago, because they can just take 194 and they'll be right there, great location. Um, and the Instagram, same thing as Falcon Dental Group. And I'm pretty much email. You can even now text our office, which is great. So, so you can, we are always looking because they always ask you, are you taking your patients? Absolutely. Especially if they come from somebody else. Someone refer someone.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, because that says a lot. But yeah, if whatever they need is we see, from 3-year-old to nine, I think 100, 101 is my oldest patient. So
Wow.
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's
jokes.
a
There's a lot of jokes I can make there about a 100-year-old person coming to get their teeth cleaned. But
yes.
do they just take them out and hand them? They just take them out and hand them to you. Is that how it
Yeah. Like
works?
it. No, that's a lot. Yeah, how
Oh,
many dentists take two for a light bulb, right?
yeah. There you go. Raquel said this was great. Looking
Oh,
forward to
Raquel.
my appointment on Tuesday. There you go.
Thank you, Raquel. Thank you. Pleasure.
So
No,
you
I
get
love it, man.
yeah, you get to meet Raquel on Tuesday. Um,
There we go.
But no,
Love
and
it.
it's exciting stuff, and I'm super glad that you got to come on today and share all this with us
Yeah.
because it is owning a business, right? And
Yeah.
it goes back to our systems, our processes, our culture. How do we
Yes.
build it? How do we take care of people? And it sounds simple, but it's not easy.
It's not easy, and Jimmy, they're doing a great job. And actually, I think bringing different part that it's not just realtors, things like that, make the podcast great because you get to see different views, and it's amazing. Love it.
Yeah, it's different but the same because it's when we talk
It's
about business, you saw Dr. Alex's episode, now your episode, like it
all
goes
about
back to the
people.
same thing, right?
Yeah, systems and people.
That's
No
it.
different.
That's it. Take care of
Um,
people.
no, you,
Put your systems in
yes.
place and take care of people. It seems pretty simple.
Take care of your staff. Take care of your staff. No, excellent, man. No, but hey, thank you for this. This was fun. I forgot we were doing a podcast that we were just talking. It seemed like we were just talking, which is amazing. I
That's
love
it.
that.
That's the way I like to make it feel.
That's the
So,
best.
yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody joining us this
Thank you.
Friday morning, having
Thanks,
Dr.
everybody.
Falcon on. Thank you for my friend. Find him at
Thank you.
falcondentalgroup.com. You can find us anywhere you find podcasts. Find us at the eliteedgenetwork.com. And we'll be back next Friday live on KGCI Radio, back on streaming everywhere we can be. So I will see you all next Friday.
All right. Take care.